Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Huddle Time. My name is Frank Folco. I'm the CEO for Cosmetologist Chicago and America's Beauty Show. And tonight we have a great episode. Our friend, Ronit Enos, has been working so diligently on writing her first book, Profit First for Salons. And we are so proud of her and so happy for her that she's achieved this milestone in her career. Before we get started, I'd just like to do a few housekeeping things. Please mark your calendars for next year, April 15th, 16th, and 17th for America's Beauty Show 2023. It will be our 100th show in our history, and we look forward to seeing you there. I'd also like to thank our sponsor, Salon Cadence, for their support throughout the pandemic and ongoing. Thank you, Salon Cadence. Okay. Let's get started. Tonight, we're going to interview Ronit Enos for just a little bit, and then we're going to bring on some special guests, folks that are featured in her new book, Profit First for Salons. So with that, I'd like to ask Ronit to please join us.
Well, hello, Frank. You look so handsome as always. How are you?
And Ronit is dialing in remotely here. She has been traveling for many, many years. Ronit, where are you at tonight?
I am in Seattle, actually in Bellingham, Washington State.
Doing great. Well,
yeah.
Great. And Ronit, on behalf of Cosmetologist Chicago and America's Beauty Show, just want to congratulate you on all of your hard work. And it finally paid off. You're launching your book, Profit First for Salons. So congratulations.
There it is, guys. It's right here. Thank you so much, Frank. It's been a journey for sure, right? It's just so nice to be here at this party. Thank you so much for everything that American's Beauty Show is doing for our community, for our beauty professionals. And it's super good to just feel the other side of Huddle Time. So you are today in my seat. I love it.
I am the host tonight. So I get to steer the ship a little bit. So I'd like to start out by asking you a few questions before we bring on our guests. Sure. So first of all, Ronit, I know that you had mentioned in one of your emails that this has been 2 years in the making. Now, having known you for well over a decade now and knowing your story, I would say that I think that this book has been over 40 years in the making. Not that I'm revealing your age, but I know that this has been something that's truly been a labor of love for you and truly a milestone in your career and in your life. Talk to us a little bit about what inspired you to write Profit First for Salons.
Well, just to reply on that 40 years, that makes me 42 because I started manifesting it when I was 2 years. So just
right.
But, Frank, it's a good question. I just feel like my whole life has been preparing me to the journey that where I am today. And so as a little child growing up in a household that had constant fights and arguments on money, I grew up in a house that kind of felt like money was an evil thing, right? And I never thought that it was important. As a matter of fact, I thought that was something that I shouldn't be focused on. And with that, as well as money associated with numbers. So I thought to myself, I was never that smart to grow. And through my adult life, I brought it over to my adult life, thinking money was evil thing and numbers is not my thing. So that impacted me in every place that I went. But I knew no matter what, that once I introduced myself to numbers and get to be very confident about numbers, that my mission was to teach women, entrepreneurs in our beauty industry, because that's where I am, how to become so savvy and so smart when it comes to making decisions based on financials outlook. And so, I fell in love with a profit first method because it's simple, it's accurate, it's relevant. You don't need to be a bookkeeper. You don't need to be an accountant. You don't need to be anything, but it's so simple that impact your business and your life immediately if you implement that. So we implement that in with our Salon Cadence members, with hundreds and hundreds of salons and independent, and achieve great success with that. So I'm super excited to be able to write it and share it with the world globally.
And why is it important for you to share it with others?
Because I think that in life, at one point, you have to look at what you're supposed to do in this life and what's your magic, what's your zone of genius, and practice it daily, like every day. And so I think I mentioned the fact that I grew up in a house that fought all the time. And during those years, unfortunately, my parents got divorced and had a very bad divorce. And that impacted my life really tremendously. I felt like my mom, didn't have the choice for certain things in her life. She did not have the independency that she always wanted. And it took her years to get to that. And I swore to myself that if I can help it, I will help every woman in the industry and in every industry achieve independence, wealth, and live a joyful life that they deserve. So that was a big impact for me. And that's what I'm doing every day. And I love it.
Good, good. And you've been traveling around here a little bit just for a couple of years through the pandemic. And how's that been going with you and Bill and your?
Well, we're still married. We're still married. We're still married. We wrote a book. We traveled for 2 years in an airstream around the country, and we built a phenomenal company helping. And it's been very, very good. I recommend that to you, Frank. Join us.
Yeah, I won't be quite doing that. I just wanted to comment on the one photo that I saw, which was absolutely epic, of you and Bill standing on the cliff, facing each other. I was trying to figure out, is Bill going to push you off or are you going to push Bill off? That's what I was just trying to figure out.
Yeah, it's probably him pushing me off, right? Like, I know you're going to say that, right? But, and to what Jay is saying, men need help too. Yes, Jay.
So I have to tell you, Ronit, we're very proud of you. You've come a long way. I've followed your career for well over a decade, and this is really a great achievement, and it's something you should be very proud of. And hopefully you'll inspire others as much as you've inspired many of us at Cosmetologist Chicago and America's Beauty Show. And the book can be found at ProfitFirstSalons.com, ProfitFirstSalons.com. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the book, and I'd like to bring on our guests, which are actually featured in the book, to get some of their insight and their input as to what inspired them for Profit First for Salons. So if we could bring our guests on, that would be wonderful.
And you know what? And as we bring in our guest right now, I do want to say that as much as it was such a passion of me to write this book, I wouldn't really be able to write this book without the heroes that are in this book. So they are all amazing, and they have so much to give and so much to share. Again, I'm just at awe of what they've been able to do. So I hope I have everybody on. Is everybody on here? Yeah, am I missing anybody? No.
Just about. Sona's going to come on here. Great. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the book launch, Profit First for Salons. And thank you so much. You're the stars of the evening. Ronit is the author, and you're the stars because you're the success stories that are really fueling this book and fueling the work for Salon Cadence. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. And we're going to talk to each and every one of you, but I'd like to start out with Sona. And Sona, we'd love to hear your story. You're currently out in you're in Spokane, Washington, correct?
I think she's a little frozen right there.
I think she's a little frozen.
Oh, there she is. She just got back
again. Keeps cutting in and out. I'm sorry.
No worries. So Sona, you're currently in Massachusetts, but you're from Spokane, Washington, correct?
Yes, from Spokane, Washington.
Great. And tell us a little bit about Salon Cadence and Salon First and what inspired you to become a part of this.
Well, Ronit introduced me to the concept of profit first several years before the book ever came about. And it literally changed the trajectory of my life. And I no longer have my salon, but I mean, we were a top 200 salon, Salon Today top 200. And I wish I would have known all of the lessons and all of the way of dealing with money and handling money that the Profit First for Salons offers, because it would have completely changed the way that I did business. So I wish that that would have been part of my journey, but I'm continuing on with the concept and the principles in Profit First for Salons for my personal life and for my new business. So I think that it's applicable for literally anyone. This is applied specifically to salons, which is incredible. And like I said, I wish I would have known that, because I would have a lot different bank account right now if I would have had this during the time when we were doing the big numbers. Because we always had the big numbers, but there was never anything left at the end. You know, it was always all gone, always went to, feeding the beast, continuing to feed that, just the salon machine that I had. And so with Profit First, it literally changed my structure and the way that I think about money.
And what is one of the lessons that you think is really just so crystal clear that, knowing now what you know, that you would recommend to others? Just one point or one lesson from Profit First.
Gosh, I think for me, the biggest thing would be that you don't continue to just add more expenses because you have more revenue coming in. It's the other way around. Your revenue has to dictate what your expenses can be, and your profit has to come first, because we have to get paid as owners and as stylists. We need to make money, or there's no point in doing what we do just to continue to grow and get, what's called bigger, because bigger isn't necessarily bigger if there's nothing left. So
that is so insightful. Bigger is not necessarily bigger if there's nothing left. It's about what's left at the end.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Great. And Tiffany, you're really focused on the bookkeeping, and
Yes.
you're featured in chapter 8 of the book. Now I'm skipping around a little bit here. Okay. But I think Sona brought up such a great point about bigger isn't bigger unless there's more left at the end. Talk to us a little bit about, just that fundamental principle of cash in, expenses.
So a lot of companies, when they come on, especially, when the salons come on, they're spending money on things that they don't even realize they're spending money on. And when we can really deep dive into where's the money going, usually we can save such a huge percentage just in the beginning by going, hey, I've got 4 softwares that do the same thing. I use one. Why do I have them all? So it's knowing, so many times it's the bank account. It's so much money comes in, so much money goes out. I see what my P&L looks like at the end of the year, and that's what my business did. And this really forces you to deep dive into each transaction that happens throughout the month and determine, is this beneficial to my business or not? And then it creates instant profit by doing that.
Wonderful.
So it's really amazing to see.
And Tiffany, we're going to keep coming back to you throughout the book launch here. Amy, I wanted to go over to you. Amy, you're in New Cumberland, Pennsylvania, and you had a dream for something that you wanted from your business. Tell us a little bit about your dream and what you wanted your business to provide for you and your family.
I wanted a space that I could provide flexibility, that I would have a good income, that I could provide that for my staff as well. Most of the women in the salon have children, single mothers. So that's a huge passion of mine, which I've even taught the method to them.
Good.
Yeah. So I feel like, to make money and to also not work all the time, because I do have a little one at home. So I want that freedom to just truly enjoy what I do. And when I was working all the time before I met Ronit, I didn't enjoy it.
And Ronit, talk to us a little about Amy's journey and what you saw as her coach and how she embraced it.
Amy's journey is very similar to so many who just come to us and say, I'm done. It's either I'm out or I'm changing my life. And the way that I want to have my life is, Amy dream was to be able to help her staff to have the same life that she wanted for herself. She wanted to own her own building. She wanted to have her own house. She wanted to have a family. She didn't even have a child when she started with us. Amy and Anna, our first clients at Salon Cadence. And so Amy is a hero. Not only she helped her staff and impacted her staff, she was able to actually achieve this huge, huge milestones, and I just think she's amazing. There's one thing to learn, and then there's another thing to implement.
Well, that's really the difference. That's the difference maker in everything. You win or lose in the margins, and it's usually the margins are the implementation. So, Amy, that's awesome. And Amy, what would you recommend? Like you're in chapter 6 of the book. What's a key part of Profit First that you'd want to share with others?
I think it simplifies money in a way that you can continue to remember if you're constantly worried about why I'm doing this and what my goals and dreams are. If you implement the Profit First, you are constantly thinking about, is that worth taking away from my bigger dream, my bigger picture? So I feel like that's one thing that is important. I mean, it's the most important. And often we are at the grocery store or someone comes in with a new product and we get pulled into it. And I feel like with this bigger picture, you remember what the end all goal is. So it may not, if it's not going to help your business instantly, that it's
maybe you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And Ronnie, correct me if I'm wrong, but profitfirstforsalons.com, for those folks that purchased the book this evening, there's actual workbooks and worksheets that go along with it, correct?
Yeah, so the link is right here on the bottom, Profit First Salons. And it is, when you purchase the book, you're able to get all the resources that goes with the book. So it's all the tools that you need to implement that. And just make sure that you take the code from Amazon and you implement it back into the page, and you'll be able to download so many bonuses and resources. And by the way, any book that is sold today, we're donating 10% to Feed America. So
great. That's wonderful.
That's part of Profit First. 2% goes to to charity of that means something to you. So
that's wonderful. Andy, you've been you're actively involved. Again, you're in Washington State, and you love an active lifestyle outside. And Ronnie told me that you're in wine country. There we go. That is awesome. You're in chapter 9 of the book. Tell us a little bit about your story and how you got involved with Profit First for Salons.
Oh, I've been a stylist since, I'm celebrating 20 years of salon ownership this next year.
Congratulations.
And I'll tell you, the first 17 years, I wish I could do them over.
Wow.
Because, much like Amy talked about wanting to be there for her family, if I would have done this 20 years ago, I would have been there for my family. So now I get the chance to be there for my grandkids.
That's great.
So that's super exciting. No, it's super exciting, right? I couldn't do it for my kids, but I can do it for my grandkids. And it's a huge, it's definitely something that if you're not doing it, you really need to be. It has made a world of difference for me and my staff.
How so? Talk us through that. How's it made a difference?
Well, I can be more present because I've pulled my time back from away from behind the chair. not being the number one revenue producer, allowing my team to do more of that, and being the person that is able to bring in the education and provide mentoring and coaching for my staff so that they too can, kind of live the dream. We love what we do, right? We're people pleasers. We love helping people. But we're also the first person that we don't take care of.
Yeah.
So it's given me an opportunity to share with my team how important it is to like take time for yourself and be that individual for your family, for yourself. And it feels good to be able to stand back and watch them grow and just become their own little leaders.
That's wonderful. Excellent. And Anna, you're also one of the first clients for Salon Cadence and Profit First. And you're also out of Massachusetts, Lola Hair Studio. And from what I understand, you also enjoy traveling. So how has Profit First helped you live the lifestyle that you're looking to live?
Hi, Frank. It's a pleasure to be here. Profit First, I have a background in finance and accounting, and it really turned everything on its head. But as many of us hairstylists, we open a salon and we're so generous and giving, and we just give it all away. So Profit First really helps us to take care of ourselves and our salon first, and then run our business like CEOs and not running around like crazy. So by doing this, I have enough profit and savings and owner's pay that it is a big stress reliever, and it empowers me to empower my team so that they can lead the salon in my absence. And then I can take vacation really as often as I want, but aiming for a 6 weeks vacation this year, or at least 6 weeks off. But I just got back from Finland about just last week, and my salon's like, hey, what's up? When you going away again?
That's wonderful. Did you ever think that you could be in that type of position?
I did. I just was approaching it the wrong way.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about profit. I was thinking about it in the old way, like if there just so happens to be money left over, then there just so happens to be money left over, instead of thinking of it as like, no, back into it the other way, which makes perfect sense, but it's not something that I think in general that we think about. Not even just hairdressers, but in general, you just think whatever you have left over is what you have left over. So now you're like, no, this is what I want to have left over. And how can we reverse engineer it so that way it works for us instead of us for them?
So it's very intentional. There's like a plan or a method for how you're going to achieve the lifestyle and your goals that you want.
Yes, and you have to keep a strong pulse on your numbers and what's coming in and going out and how you're going to get there. Ronnie's story was, a lot of like her childhood was a lot more about money. We grew up poor, but I always had the mentality as well, I'll just make more money. So like, instead of being fearful of spending it, I would just be like, okay, I don't have enough money for that, so I'll just have to make more. So it works still in that way, and the percentages just go along with it.
Wonderful.
And then you teach your team. So now the team knows that I'm very transparent with my team, so they learn the Profit First too. So now they know that we only have a certain amount for OpEx that we can spend. So it makes them a little bit more cautious about maybe products that they're using, or how much color they're using, or, they value when you hire new employees, like when you hire a salon manager or you hire assistants, they know that where the money comes from the machine. So it's helpful for them to know that.
It sounds as if the Profit First methodology allows you to engage your team into this like common playbook or this common methodology so that everybody can subscribe to the model. And it's just a matter of which pressure do you want to manage? Do you want to manage the pressure of the unknown, or manage the discipline of incorporating others into the plan? Sounds good.
I think they enjoy being part of the plan, and I think that they enjoy knowing what the numbers are and what their part of it is. And I think that they enjoy knowing that they belong to a profitable company and that their job is safe.
You know, that's going to become even more important as we continue to see challenges in our economy. People want to be around a successful company. So that's awesome, Anna. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Kalina, your story is so inspiring. You have to share it with all of us because it's such a good story to hear. And you're down in Atlanta, Georgia. Please share us your story and what inspired you to become a member of, or really subscribe to Profit First and Salon Cadence.
Well, I'm glad. I thought I missed it. I was like, what happened? I don't know where I'm at. So I'm glad to be with you guys to share this on Ronit's special day. This is so amazing. My name is Kalina Duru out of Atlanta, Georgia. And pretty much everybody is kind of like in a business. We get started, kind of like Anna said, we kind of know we want to make money, but it's just like she said, whatever is left over. And after years, first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, not having anything left over.
It happens. Yeah.
And on, and without having anything left over, you start to, almost get discouraged, but then you start doing more things and then more things and then more things. And it just seems like it's just never ending. And it's still not making any money, or I will say having any money in the bank, And so I met Ronit at a hair show, and it was so, profound because I met her at a hair show and I was able to talk on her hair at a hair show this last couple of weeks. So it's very monumental to me because it is so, it hits home, it hits home that I was just in those seats. And now I'm talking about, what I heard. But everything that she said just resonated with me because I was struggling. Let's just call it like what it is. I was struggling. I didn't have any money in the bank, very low. Whatever came in, went out. I really didn't know how. I didn't know the ball was kind of really moving. And so I didn't really know how. And so it's just like I say at a warehouse, it's like when something is wrong, you have to shut the line down so you can find out what's wrong and so everything will be right. So when I was working with Ronit, everything was so opposite to what I was doing. I mean, profit first, that flips what they tell you, right? So, and then all the things that you have to do and the methodology to it, I just didn't understand it. I just didn't understand any of it. And so once I learned what I had to do, I was like, oh my gosh, none of my stylists is going to do this. I'm going to lose all of them. No one is going to do this. And so COVID happened. And when COVID happened, it did two things. Number one, it scared me because I didn't know what I was going to do. Sure. And my blood pressure went up to the roof that I busted a blood vessel in my eye, just like we all did. We didn't know what was going on with COVID. But It did another thing that I had to realize. It made that assembly line stop. That assembly line, it gave it time for me to really fix the issues. It gave me time to really fix the things that, and learn it. Because that's another thing. I had to learn it. So it made me be able to learn it and really put in some practicalities. And so that is what was so amazing. But, fast forward when we opened back up, I was so really determined and stuck on the systems and the processes and the policies that me and Ronit had worked on to make this salon successful, and the things that I really needed to make a successful salon, that I stuck to my guns. And when I opened up, none of my stylists came back with me but one. And I could have did a couple of things. I could have went back to my old ways. I could have compromised and said, well, I'll do this for this one, or, okay, we'll do this for a little while. But no, I stuck to my guns because, You know, it was like, what the heck? I have to try this. And the way I've been doing it was wrong, you know? So, and Ronnie in the community was so, you know, helpful. You know, I was in my bed and I couldn't get up, you know. I didn't think I was going to make it. You know, I was just, you know, I'm sure we've all been there, but I just felt, I don't want to use the word hopeless, but I guess I felt hopeless. I didn't know what to do. And I wanted to crawl in a cocoon and never come out. But I came out, you know, a butterfly. And that's because, you know, of the community that I was with. That's because of the, you know, the tools and things that I had learned. And I was able to build a great, magnificent team now. And it's about 7 of us now, you know. And just like Anna said, I'm very transparent with them. You know, I've been in business for over 10 years now. And
You're here.
I think she dropped. I think she froze. This is such a good story. I was like so caught up and I was getting touched over here. We got to get Kalina back.
Yeah.
All right. Well, while we're waiting for Kalina to come back,
Yeah.
Ronit, you know, congratulations. You're doing something right. Here, every folks from all over the country are saying similar messages, similar things about Profit First, about Salon Cadence, about you, your community that you built that's supporting one another. So first off, congratulations. Good job, well done. But what do you see as a common fabric, a common element of all of your clients or your customers, your friends? Like, what do you see as like a common factor that really makes it successful?
You know, it's the waste of time. It's the waste of time. It's the sacrifices that we put in and day out. We want to build a company. We want to build success for ourselves. It doesn't matter whether you're a stylist, you're a student, you aspire to be a salon owner or not. The common demeanor is that we get stuck about the fear of money. And with Profit First, it's so clear. It's like you know, if you were in a forest and you were looking to get out, it's very difficult because you have so many trees. But with Profit First, it's the path. It gets you out and it gets you consistent. And consistency is the key. You know, everybody is talking about this big word, this big buzzword, you know, something that calls recession. And I say recession, I say succession. That's what I say. And this is what we need to look at in the future, the opportunity to become success now. And nothing is going to stop us. And that's about commitment and just do something different than what you have done before. And so you look at each person in this room of ours right now, and you look at people that are high achievers, they have passion, they want to be successful, and they do the work. This is not about Ronit. This is about these heroes that are made their dream comes to reality. It just Profit First was there to help them do that.
A pathway.
A path.
A pathway through the challenges that all business owners face. A pathway to achieving the goals that every one of us have inside, and a pathway to really bring others along with you. Because as you know, the old saying goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And it seems like that Profit First really is a pathway for salon owners to bring their staff along, bring their family along so they can achieve their goals. So again, the book can be purchased today at profitfirstsalons.com. And again, there's many workbooks and worksheets that are tied to it that are incentives for everyone to get the book right away. You know, Tiffany, I wanted to come back to you, and then we'll go around the horn and we'll wrap up. But Tiffany, I wanted to come back to you once again. You know, having heard these inspiring stories and worked with so many clients, you know, how do people overcome the fear of the numbers?
Really, they just have to do it. And one of the most beautiful things about this community is that there's so much support, whether it's people that have done it for 3 years, people that are, just starting out. It's so supportive. So like Ronit said, it's getting over the fear and moving past it and seeing the success afterwards. Having worked with so many salons, I do tell them a lot. I mean, the sooner you start it, the sooner that you see the results. And it's amazing to see businesses that, have a hard time making payroll, and then all of a sudden there's extra money in the bank. So it's beautiful that the seeing the veterans telling the stories to the newcomers and just really wrapping their arms around them. The support community is amazing here.
That's awesome. That's great. Andy, what are your final thoughts for anyone that's out there that's thinking about, well, maybe Profit First might be for me, or Profit First sounds great, but that's for Jeannie down the street. That's not for me. What would you say to that person that, is debating on whether or not Profit First? You're on mute.
I can unmute.
There we go.
I would just say, to hell with what everybody else says, do it. It's totally worth the time, the energy. It's the fear of the unknown, right? It's something that not everybody is doing. It doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't make any sense. My accountant doesn't believe in it. Whatever. If I went back to my old accountant right now, actually, maybe that's not a bad idea. Go back with my current P&L and say, hey, sorry about your luck, but you lost a client. But I do have a profitable business.
That's wonderful.
And so
congratulations, Andy. Okay, Kalina, we want you to finish your story because we were all on the edge of our seats right when you got knocked off.
I know. I'm so sorry. The funny thing is I have my laptop plugged up, but for some reason I can't get the audio and the camera to work on the laptop. But I forgot to plug up my phone. Look, where was I? But in all honesty, like I said, I crawled out of bed. I had this epiphany. I sat down, got those systems together. I hired off of that system. And I remember now, like Anna was kind of saying, very transparent with my stylists too, and I tell them, even though I've been in business now almost 10 years, this is really a 2-year company because everything is new. Everything that I've input, the whole handbook, I mean, everything. It's just totally different than the way we used to do things. And so 2 things were good about that because I didn't have a lot of old heads that was beating me down about the old things we used to do. But because I had a new team, but it also lets them know that as I'm going through this journey, some things are new. Some things that they ask, what about this or what about that? I'm still learning, growing, and evolving as well at this new Profit First salon. So it's different from how they are used to, what they're used to as well. So it's just totally awesome. And, like Andy said, you'll get with some CPAs and they may say, don't do it, or I've never heard of it. But like she said, the heck with them. I've been with CPAs and stuff for a long time. This is the first time that I was ever able to buy a home. I was staying in my mother-in-law's house for almost 10 years. So, it just, we were able to pay off our cars, just so many things, have money in the bank, go on vacations, just so many things that, we will rack up credit cards and things to do. And that's nothing wrong with that. But I wanted to be able to have it. I didn't want to be able to have to owe it back all the time of money that I don't have. I'm already at 0. So I don't have it to pay it off, so, it's kind of a little humble pie and it's a hard pill to swallow, but it's reality. It is what it is. And that's what I love about Ronit. I love about Profit First. And I love about the team. It's no BS. I'm not a cursor. So Ronique throws the BS word out a lot, so I'm just gonna. But it's no BS, and that's what I like. And I just, I'm just so proud to be a part. I mean, this is just crazy. Little old me. I'm just so happy to be a part.
Kalina, congratulations. Congratulations, all of you. And Kalina's chapter 7 of the book, Profit First for Salons. So if you want to read more about Kalina, go to chapter 7. Okay, Anna and Amy, I'm going to go to you two next, and then Ronit, we're going to finish up with you. So Anna, any final thoughts? You've been through the journey. Any final thoughts you'd like to share with those folks out there that are considering Profit First?
I would say don't overthink it. You can't afford not to do it.
Yeah.
Amen. There you go.
Powerful.
All right, Amy, your final thoughts?
Yeah, I would say that since I started, I was able to pretty much remove myself completely from behind the chair. And I have never not paid myself since. So I know a lot of times you steal from yourself pretty much essentially to make it. I've never had to do that since I've started. So
that's wonderful. Congratulations. Ronit, again, congratulations on the book, but more importantly, congratulations on helping and serving others that are really our heroes and making a difference in our industry. Ronit, any final thoughts regarding the book launch and your recommendation for others?
First, I want to say thank you, Frank,
Thank you.
for doing an amazing job hosting and for exposing this to the world. And the second thing I want to say, thank you for this community. This community is started as an infancy, just like me, and they are on a mission to eradicate salon poverty or stylist poverty, support their staff in making them wealthy and happy. So that's their mission. So I know that I'm behind them. There are mentors in our company, so I'm super proud about that. But what I want to say to everybody who is listening, you deserve it. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be wealthy, and you deserve to have a nice life, and give back to the world. The only way to do it is by impacting the world to do better and bigger things. So join the community. We got you. That's kind of like where read the book and implement that. And if you have any questions, reach to all of us. We're here to support and help.
Wonderful. And that's profitfirstsalons.com. Book is on sale now. And again, if you go to profitfirstsalons.com, there's also additional worksheets and workbooks that go along with it. So on behalf of Cosmetology Chicago and America's Beauty Show and Huddle Time, I want to thank our guests so much for sharing your stories. And it's so genuine and so inspiring for all of us to hear. And I wish everyone great success and continued success with Profit First for Salons. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
and have a great evening.
Thank you, everybody. And don't come off.
Thank you.
We're going to disconnect. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Frank. Thank guys.